15-day wait on the handguns, but the rifles you can take right now. You can't do that.
Terminator. I came across this image of T-800 holding a bulky gun, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. What if I redesigned that weapon myself? My own concept, my own version. Now, in the movies, Arnold used the SPAS-12, but I don't want to just copy it. I want to redesign it. Semi-sci-fi, modern and believable. Not something crazy, over-engineered alien weapon. Just what would the Terminator actually carry if Skynet upgraded its loadout? So I built it in Blender. This is the SK-800 Terminus. Before I touched Blender, I did something most people skip completely. References. 4 different shotguns including the SPAS-12 from the movie. But I didn't just collect it to sit in my folder. I opened in Krita and start photobashing. Basically, taking the best parts of each gun and mixing them together. This grip from here, this receiver shape from there, this muzzle from this one, and the whole time I'm thinking, does this actually make sense? Can someone hold this gun? Is the proportion right? Would this actually function? Because a cool looking gun that nobody uses is just a sculpture. After a few iterations, I had my 2D concept. Not perfect, but clean enough to build form. Then I did something interesting. I took a screenshot of my sketch and uploaded to Gemini. Just simple prompt and asked it to visualize the concept. Let's see what comes back. Okay, I'll be honest. This is about an 8 out of 10. The overall shape and proportion solid, but those glowing red lights, that's not happening. This is a Terminator weapon, not a Christmas tree. So I took what worked and ignored what didn't and move on. Before I start modeling, I had one question. Where does the bullet actually load on this thing? So I marked 2 areas on my reference and did some research. Also I got the answer. Apparently it's area 2. But honestly, I'm not fully convinced. So I put that on hold. We'll deal it with later. For now, let's get into Blender. Alright, Blender is open. First thing I do is load the reference image we got from AI and start tracing. Generally, I don't like tracing work, but to get the proportion right, we have to do this way. I make it less painful by using Boxcutter and NGon tool because I don't like to adding a plane and then playing around with the vertices. That's a bit more time consuming and annoying. So I basically use the Boxcutter and NGon tool. So by just drawing some lines and click, it will fill the shape instantly, and it's really easy for me to come up with different shapes. So yeah, probably you can use Boxcutter, and if you don't have a Boxcutter, you can use Cover. The only struggle, you need to realign every time for each part, every single part. That's the only painful thing, but we'll push it through. First goal, finish the blockout, no matter how ugly it looks in the beginning. That is the key part. People quit a design because the blockout looks terrible, but that's exactly how it's supposed to look. If we keep pushing, the result will be great. At least that's been my experience. I make each part separately, easy to work with. So I got a less shading problem later. And eventually, I finished the blockout. Not bad, we got it right. But I'm not happy with just the base gun. I wanted to make it more modern and more of like my version. So I decided to add attachments, a scope, a muzzle. So I just got some references and put that on PureRef and just start modeling it. These small additions are what push it from a regular shotgun into something that feels like my own original version. Semi-sci-fi, modern, but still believable. Now here's the thing. Because we already established the correct scale of the main gun early on, finding the right scale and proportion for the attachment is very easy. Everything just fits. That's exactly why getting your proportion right on the blockout stage matters so much. It pays off in every step after it. Now I start refining the shapes, from blocky to smooth and realistic. I start with the gun stock, makes the area smooth and curvy. The key thing here is I have to maintain the same level of bevel across the entire model. Everything has to match. So I have to constantly keep my eye on that. And this is where I stuck. The stock design. I have no idea on how to approach it. It feels impossible. I tried different approaches, but none of them actually worked. I feel like I'm quitting, and honestly, I almost did. But I came back. Started playing around with mock shop and merging vertices, and that actually worked. I got a result very similar to the reference. So yeah, I was happy. Sometimes the solution isn't some complicated technique, it's just trying one more thing. Now my favorite part, detailing. This is where the model starts coming to life. Every part needs to feel realistic, like it's actually exists. The technique is simple: bevel, insert, extrude, and yeah, sometimes Boxcutter to cut into parts. Giving separation and surface detail, nothing complicated. But this part takes the longest. For me though, it goes by very quickly because I'm watching my own concept become real. That feeling of seeing your idea actually taking shape, I think you can relate to that feeling. That's the part that keeps you going, and that's why we do this. Alright, model is done. I'm pretty much happy with the result. Now it's time to add color. I'm going to rely on AI for this one because it's generated the model, so let's see if it can give the color combo. I took a screenshot of my model and described my theme and asked for color combination. Let's see what we get. Okay, that's awesome. It's 9 out of 10. I'm keeping everything matte black. So I load the image as a reference and start adding material using MatricX Pro. One thing I love about this, I don't have to UV interrupt the model. That saves a lot of time. Then I load my muscle reference and start to copying the detail and materials as closely as possible, keeping it real. Matching the reference keeps your design grounded. Then I move on to the rest of the parts. Not everything is same matte black. Some parts are slightly darker and shinier, and some are lighter gray. That's variation. For the scope, I add a bright orange for the glass. Kinda makes it futuristic, like something designed to find enemies in the dark environment. At least that's my theory. And finally, text and decals to finish the entire design. And this is the SK-800 Terminus. Powerful, modern, built for one mission. The perfect weapon for the T800. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you have any idea for the next concept, drop it down there too. I'll see you with another creative concept.